Hey guys, it's Twilight Kitsune here, and it's time to paint on something else. But first, let's show you how the painting came out from last time. I told you that stuff dried clear, didn't I? That's out of the way. I'm going to be painting on none of these. Surprise! I have another project that I'm going to paint on. See, in addition to painting miniatures, I do another special little hobby. And that is doll customizing. And this is my latest project. This one's going to be my main OC, the avatar I use in most of my video games, Twilight, who's also the namesake of the channel. And I love how she's coming along. She has come a very long way from what she started as. She began life as a Draculaura doll. This was the original head. I don't have any other Draculaura bodies, but this is the color she was originally. This very light pink color with black hair. What you do is you remove the hair, you pull out the plugs from the inside using a tool like this one, and you wipe off the face with acetone, or which is often used as nail polish remover. But for her, because I needed to make such a drastic skin tone change, I wanted to use the Draculaura mold because of the ears, these pointed ears, because she's a half drow. Yeah, that she's my D&D character too, so half drow. And this face mold I liked a little better because if you notice, there are some minor differences between the face mold. I just wanted that face mold. It's a little bit wider. It's a bit cuter. Save this for another project. Whoop! Yeah, bullseye. And so what I did was I used this in a pot of boiling water, in a pot that's specifically for dye because this stuff is toxic, so don't put it anywhere near your food. And I dyed the doll brown, and I used acrylic paint to cover up the imperfections in the dye. This was mostly so that her joints would stay dyed, because paint will rub off of these areas really, really easily, so you dye the doll. And I picked that up from Doll Motion, who is a doll customizer. She has a lot of videos on YouTube. She does some super crazy modifications to her dolls. I would recommend checking her out. She's, webcam moved. She's really cool. I also watch, Delightful, who is absolutely delightful. She's absolutely adorable. Yeah. Yeah! And then I plugged her head, because remember, I took off all her hair, with white noise from the Doll Planet. I actually have a Doll Planet pin here. Pretty neat, huh? It's nylon doll hair, and you style it with boiling water. You can watch Delightful and Doll Motion if you want to see more details on how this process goes. This is a multi-day process. This can take like a week just to plug the hair. This is a very long process. It takes a very long time. But the end result is completely worth it, because at the end, I mean, already she's completely one of a kind. There's no other doll like her in the world, and by the time I finish with her, she'll be completely my own little art piece. So, I need to pull something up on my computer real quick. I have a reference pic of kind of how I want her face to look. I took a picture on my phone and colored on it in paint.net. And she's actually going to have a scar through her left eye, so I have to make that. Take an X-Acto knife, and I'm just gonna scrape at this, cut this out. It's not really going very well. That's okay. Vinyl is very squishy. Oh goodness, that dye penetrated further than I thought. I would have thought these bits where I've actually managed to like gouge out the vinyl would have been pink, but no, it's pretty brown, so that dye penetrated into that vinyl pretty far. So yeah, the character has a scar running through her left eye. I need to make this one just a little bit longer, and then I think it'll be good. Oh, that's gonna come out. That's gonna make a big chunk. Maybe. Possibly. There we go. Ah! Ah, lost some of my fingernail there. Okay, yeah. Okay, keep going, come on. Alright, in the drawing, the scar has like 2 bits that come off it, but I think I don't want to risk it with the knife. So I'm going to call that her scar. It's actually showing up pretty well on camera, so I'm pleased about that. Oh, yes. And now for the face. I have all of my paints sitting right by me. I'm going to be using some matte white. I'm going to be using lavender and light lavender. Come on, where'd you go? Where'd you go? I just used you. I'm going to be putting this Dragonfly Color Shift Glitter Glaze over her eyes for funsies, because why not? I need the oak brown, and I need one more color of white, and I just having a hard time finding it. Oh, is that it? Yes, there it is. And I will also be using mummy robes. Now then, move this lotion out of the way so that I can move my water cup. Water's still good. Down here, got my Incineroar amiibo there. Oh, and I'm also going to want pure red. No, actually, no, not pure red. No, not that color. I see it. I just can't grab it. No, that's the wrong color. Not what I thought it was. Is that it? No. Is that? Yes! I'm going to want pink melon and glistening blood for her scar. Ooh, fancy. Alright. We're going to start with this number 0 brush, zero flat brush. Is that what I want to use? No, that is not what I want to use. I want to use this 1 spot brush and mummy robes. I realize I should probably have her hair masked off or something, but it's fine. I'll be careful. Look at that paint cap. There we go. And the mummy robes will be for the color of her eyeballs. And this is because I'm going to be giving her white eyelashes. So I want there to be some level of contrast between her eyes and her eyelashes. Now, this is not my first custom doll. Not even close. I have several others, and I will probably show them to you all at a future date. Like I'll do like a video showing off my doll customs. Right, sorry, I have to pull her out of frame. Her hair is being a wee bit unruly. I'm still not sure if this will be the final hairstyle or not. I might want to make it shorter. I'm gonna dip the brush in water. And slightly water down the paint a little bit more. There we go. Oh, that's a bad angle. Ah, there we go. That's an angle, and I am, I like the mold, so I'm following the mold here. I also didn't draw on her with watercolor pencils, because I don't usually do that step. I've actually found that I do best if I just go straight at it with the acrylics. Okay. And there are the whites of her eyes filled in with with Mummy Robes is kind of a pinky white, so it looks a little bit more organic than like just straight up matte white would, which is why I chose it to use it for this. It's drying pretty quickly, but while we're at this, usually lips are a slightly darker color than the skin tone, which is why I grabbed the Oak Brown. That's going to be for her lips. She doesn't really wear makeup, so I don't get to do anything fancy with that, which is fine. I have a doll that has some very, very fancy makeup, and it's not that much, and the Oak Brown is not that much darker than her actual skin tone. It's really more that it's just less red, I guess, so it's not really showing up on the camera, but it is slightly noticeable in real life, and I just bonked the camera with my headset. Oops. Okay. There we go. But yeah, I also don't do the body blushing or other techniques that doll customizers use. I'm still kind of a beginner at this. And now it's time for another layer of that mummy robe. And her eyelashes and eyebrows are going to be pure white, so you're going to be able to tell a difference between the mummy robes and the matte white that I grabbed. Oh no! Ah! One sec. We colored outside the lines. Now I have to scrape off the paint, because her skin tone was a hard color to mix up, and I don't want to do it again. But it looks like I might have to anyways to do a touch up. Dang it. Maybe I can cover that up with lower lashes. Okay, there we go. Speaking of eyebrows, I think it's time to paint those in. So let's do some eyebrows. That's something I forgot on my little concept art that I've got sitting next to me. But that's absolutely fine. Just need a tiny bit of matte white. Give her some nice eyebrows, one of which is like right above her scar and is noticeably longer than the other one, so I'm going to need to make these match as best as possible. It's fine if they don't match completely, it'll just give her a nice little expression. I am happy with that. It's not perfect, but you know what? I'm happy with that. And like I said, she's a half drow, so that's Yeah, that's me. That's what I do. After a rogue assassin archetype is what I do in D&D. So I'm gonna pull her out of frame so I can take a closer look at her eyes. She does need another layer, and I need to grab the paint that I use to mix up her body color so that I can do some touch-ups around her eyes later. She needs just a little bit more of the mummy robes. Yes, yes, this is coming along nicely. See, like I said, she's not my first doll. She is the first doll where I completely changed the skin tone, though. I'm so glad I am a regular viewer of Doll Motion, and I'm even one of her supporters on Patreon, so if you watch her videos, her more recent, especially more recent ones, my name will actually show up in the credits at the end, which is really neat. Okay. So, sorry, I scraped again. This is probably just gonna keep happening. Her hair is very wild right now. The boil wash was supposed to tame it, but apparently it didn't. For just a sec, I'm gonna do some work on her scar for a second. I'm not entirely happy with how the lower part of it tapers, or rather, the lack of a taper. Come on. Come on. There we go. Almost got it. Come on. There we go. Not much of a noticeable difference, but now it comes to a point instead of just being square. Okay. Do I want another layer of color on the lips? Not really. Alright, I think she's ready to have her eyelashes painted in. So... Oh, no, stop! Don't use this brush. Don't use this brush. It's tempting, but not using this one. I am going to use the three... Oh! Ah! It flew! Ah! Oof, sorry about that. The 3-0 linear brush. And this is my favorite one. You can get to a really, really narrow point, and that's really what I'm gonna need for this. So, painting on the eyelashes. This is the most precision requiring part of this face up. There we go. I like that. She's just gonna have those like little 3 suggestions of eyelashes there. Now the other one. Slightly harder because I'm right-handed, but that's okay. There we go. Her eyelashes. Yeah, I don't really feel like doing lower lashes. Okay. But I am going to change my mind and go looking for another color to add to this palette. Nope. Nope. Oh no! It's missing the cap. It's missing the cap! Oh no! Where? Oh, phew. Cap is found. Okay. It hasn't been sitting like that for long, so this should not be dried out. This is fur brown. And it's not coming out. I'm gonna try and save that later. I'm gonna just use some of this, which is burnt sienna. And while I'm here with the one spot brush, I'll use the one spot brush for this. I'm gonna give her some little bits of highlighting on the top and bridge of her nose. And on the brow and on her cheekbone. And on the top of her cheekbones. Really should have watered this down a little more. This is just kind of meant to be like just little highlights. This will dry a good deal darker than it is now. I'm just kind of spreading it out right now. And above her eyebrows. There we go, maybe a little bit on her chin. And the Cupid's bow. Okay. And that will give her face a little bit of dimension. Or it should. Yeah, that's about what it does in non-harsh lighting, like I have here. So, yeah, just it gives her face a little bit more dimension, some more color. I like it. Alright, so, hold on a sec. I have to adjust my glasses and headset. Wearing glasses with headset can be a bit of a pain sometimes. And now, I think let's do that scar, or at least the first part of it, which is going to require the melon. The pink melon. Oh, hey, that's a perfect amount. And for that, I'm going to take the 3-0 brush and water this down a bit. I'll need to water the paint down more often. Still need to make sure it's more paint than water, though. Take some and just go in to color in that scar. And extend it just a little bit until it's right up against the eye. I'm going to go through her eyelashes. There we go. Okay. Should we look good with that? No, not really. Okay. All right. Now let's. Something was in her hair and it was bugging me. Oh, she's coming out really nicely, and if I wanted her to be a spooky specter of the night, I think I'd stop here, because those no iris eyes are really freaky. But I don't, so let's move on, and I'm going to paint her right eye first with the lavender. Whoa, that's way too much. Alright, for this, hold on, I want to make sure. Okay, I want to make sure I keep track of all these brushes. First, for this one, I'm going to use the one spot brush. Remember which eye, remember which eye. And we're just gonna paint in an iris. Okay. I think I want it just a little bit bigger on this side. There we go. And that's her right eye. And then her left eye, being the scarred one, is going to be the light lavender, so she has 2-color eyes. So she's got some heterochromia by injury-induced heterochromia going on here. With one eye being lighter than the other by virtue of having a big old scar running through it. There we go. What do you guys think so far? I think she's looking really great. Oh, I wish I had the room on my computer to do editing so that I could like film a full doll making process and edit it together, because like I said, this takes a very long time. I got through almost a full season of Hunter x Hunter doing her hair. I got through like most of the Greed Island arc. I finished it out and got to the very beginning of the Chimera Ant arc. Like, by that I mean like the first episode of the Chimera Ant arc. I just barely finished Greed Island, but doing that, just plugging her hair. Okay. I forgot the matte black. For the pupils. Okay, there we go. And once again, using the size 1 spot brush. This is also a slightly spooky time in a doll's face up, as this process is called. Simply because those eyes look very, very soulless, don't they? There is a way to fix that, but I'm going to have to wait for the pupils to dry first. And while the pupils are drying, since the melon is dried, we're going to take the glistening blood and using that 3-0 linear brush, we are going to put that into the scar over top the melon, which gives it this nice effect. So it looks, well, like it looks like a really nasty scar, which is what it is. So no surprise there. All right, then I'm going to take the 1 spot brush and some matte white. We're going to give her eyes the spark of life, or rather, a highlight, which really helps bring it to life and really, really reduces the creep factor. Now that that's done, I'm going to use these to do a little bit more shading on her, because I actually really enjoy how that turned out, so I'm going to do some nice... I'm going to enhance the shading on her brows a little bit. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go under her jawline. Do some contouring. Oh, she's looking so nice. I love her! That's the most important part of this, isn't it? That I the artist, am satisfied with my work. I know that there are a lot of people who look back on their old artwork and they go, ooh, that's cringe. Yes, I can be like that. But mostly I stay happy with my older pieces because, well, I just keep at it until it's something that makes me happy, and so it just keeps making me happy. Hmm. All right. Okay. All right. And there was one more thing I wanted to do, and that was to take the Dragonfly Glaze and put that over her eyes to add a magical effect. Oops. I'm just gonna go over her irises with the glaze. I'm not gonna go over her pupil, just the iris. I'm also not gonna do too much. It's really just to give her eyes an extra swirl, because I like to imagine that her eyes have a slight color changing nature to them, like they become more blue or more red depending on how she's feeling at the time, because purple has a lot of shades to it. It is my favorite color. And before anyone asks, yes, I am a fan of the Legend of Drizzt series, and I was a huge, much bigger fan when I was in high school and first came up with this character. But she is definitely not a knockoff of Drizzt. First off, half drow. Second off, she's a rogue, not a ranger. And she has become her own character over time. The purple eyes are really one of the only connections she has left to him, which is fine. I also usually play her these days as chaotic neutral. So she's like, I do what I want, I follow my own moral code, and I don't care what society thinks. Which is what chaotic neutral is. If you want, the Guardians of the Galaxy are kind of chaotic neutral type characters. Just say, like, all of them. All of them. Though they're a bit wacky. Not all chaotic neutrals are wacky shenanigan types. I'm not the wacky shenanigan type. So yeah, here she is. Oh, she looks even better than the concept art. Oh, she's so pretty. I'm gonna be having an outfit made for her, pretty soon. Oh, I just love how she turned out. This is. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I certainly enjoyed doing it, and I am absolutely in love with the result. Thank you for watching. If you want to see my dolls, go ahead, leave a comment down below. Remember to like, subscribe, do all the things to please the almighty YouTube algorithm. Again, I'm gonna be working on I'm gonna buy a new webcam probably sometime this month, or just a new recording camera, because I'm getting sick of the poor quality on this one. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Twilight Kitsune, signing out!